Hello and welcome to World Talk. This week we have an amazing guest, very special guest, a man who I admire very deeply. I think his life story is very interesting. This week we are joined by the one and only Brian Yelverton. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thanks, bro. Thanks.
Brian, we start the show off every episode the same. Could you tell us where you're from and describe it in 3 words?
What do you mean,
Like, where were you born?
I was born in Port Arthur, Texas.
Nice. And could you describe it?
Well, the thing was, I wasn't really raised there, so I don't really know too much about it. The only thing I do remember from it is that there was a bridge called the Rainbow Bridge. When I was a young boy, I was visiting my grandfather there. He took us on these like go-kart rides around this place, but I don't really know much about it. You know what I mean? There was one time we were on these like interstates or whatever, and these bridges, and there was like tall buildings, but that's all memory I have of it. So
most of your memories are growing up in Cayman.
Well, I grew up till I was like 10 years old in Pond Creek, Oklahoma. Yeah, that was a little small town, small town, but just not much to describe about it. So
Yeah. What were you doing up there? Just living.
yeah, going to school. I went there from kindergarten to grade 6.
All right. And when did you move to Cayman?
I don't know what exact age, but somewhere around 10 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
And been in Cayman ever since?
Ever since. I mean, I came off one time for like over like a year and 6 months, but that was about it.
Nice. How would you say like your upbringing was, like growing up in the States and then moving to Cayman? Was that a bit of a culture shock?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in the States, I was just kind of a quiet kid. Didn't really have much friends, you know. But I wasn't no big thing going on, really. You know what I mean? I was all right with people.
Yeah.
But I wasn't popular. You know what I mean? But it was cool. I mean, it was mainly just me and my brother all the time. After school, we just go home and play video games. It was nice.
Fair. And then what was your life like when you guys moved to Cayman?
Boy, it was a lot of attention, and some negative and some positive.
Is that because you guys were like the new foreign kids?
Yeah. Exactly it.
So talk to us about that negative and positive attention. What was the positives and what were the negatives?
It was kind of confusing, yo. Okay, all right. When I came to Cayman, all right, I didn't really know a bunch of anything about like racism or anything like that, but everybody was coming at me about being a white boy. Everybody was coming out at me about being white. And like I got in a lot of fights because of it, but I got a lot of positivity out of it too. A lot of people I mean, some dudes who were like, all right, when I got in like a couple of fights, I kicked ass. So I mean, some of the dudes are like, wow, this white boy badass. You know what I mean? They're like, yo, come through over here and hang with us. And yeah, but that was cool. But then at the same time, some dudes are like, come at me with some stupid stuff like yo, I hear you hate black people. It's like, yo, I don't know nothing about this kind of stupidness about hate black people. Like, why would I hate black people? Like, I don't understand this. I'm just a young boy like this, you know what I mean? I don't even understand where this conversation is going, bro.
So you're around what, 13, 14?
Probably like 12 the most.
12. And this is your first introduction to racism.
Yeah.
So it's just this big confusing, everyone thinks you hate them.
Yeah.
And you have no idea why.
Yeah. I remember this one dude, he come up to me and he was like, yo, white boy, give me $1. And I'm like, I ain't got no dollar. And he's like, yo, white boy, and he goes, kicks after me. And then I push him, and then he jumps after me, puts me in a headlock, and I kind of put him back down and just start punching him. And then the teacher comes, and at first I was getting in trouble, but then one of the girls say, no, he was defending himself. That boy started it. And that's kind of like where things boomed off, and then people were like kind of interested in me and stuff like that. And but then this thing kind of came up about Eminem a lot. Slim Shady, and everybody was like, this rumor spread around that I was Slim Shady's brother. And my friends, my little two little friends I had at the time, they're like, yo, just go with it, bro. Just go with it. I think they were the ones that probably started the rumor, but I was like, all right, yeah, I'm Slim Shady's brother. And then everybody's like, well, you know what I mean? You're from the hood and you're white. You should rap too. And so I tried rapping, and I was good with it from the get go. I mean, it wasn't as good as I am now, but I was. The thing was, my bars were powerful. I wasn't at first. I couldn't freestyle for long. I could only drop like 2 bars, but
Right.
they were solid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But and then I just kind of kept practicing with it with my brother, and boy, we just became really popular. After that, through the rapping, really popular. Yeah.
When you're in school dealing with all these things, people picking on you, racism and whatnot, are you like telling your brother about this so he can like be careful?
Not really, still, cause he we kind of just stuck.
Because you're the oldest.
Yeah. At that first, when I came into that, he was in primary school, West Bay Primary, and I was in George Hicks. So he didn't get to witness none of that, and I didn't really talk about it like that. You know what I mean? He had his own little things that he was dealing with still too. 'Cause I heard it. He had got him like one fight or something like that, but I don't know. You know, he didn't really mention anything about it, and I was very like defensive for my brother. If anybody kind of try to mess with my brother, boy, I was gonna get at him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. So what was like? So you're a teenager in the high school. What were your teenage years like, growing up in Cayman?
I mean, it was like just kind of figuring out what's going on, because it's like, again, a lot of attention is coming at me, and I'm trying to figure out how to process it and be a part of it, and you know what I mean?
So in school, were kids coming up to you like, yo, actually, well, let me backtrack. You have I guess an island famous rap name, which is Dizzy.
Yeah.
Were you Dizzy back then?
Well, I did. That was from time it started. Yeah, that was it. But it wasn't. My very first rap name, I called myself Forsaken.
Forsaken.
Yeah.
Nice. And would people just always like stop you like, yo, Forsaken, you got a bar
nobody
for me?
nobody really knew about that. Nobody did, because I wasn't stating my rap name in my raps at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's something like one of my songs, but I wasn't really like. Most of the time, it was like when people heard me rap, it wasn't my songs. It was freestyles.
Right.
And most of the time, the freestyles were freestyle battles. You know what I mean? So it was most of my bars were attention towards the opponent, not more about rapping about myself like how I usually be doing. You know?
Was that a big thing for you growing up in high school, just freestyle battles?
Yeah, bro.
Tell us about that.
I mean, there wasn't much of it, but when it was there, it was nice. You know what I mean? But
was it nice having like knowing you had like the freshest bars in the whole class or the whole school?
yeah, definitely, still definitely. I mean, but because all right, it was me, my brother, and my next brethren, Scrooge, also known as Two Clips, and then my next brethren, Jeffrey, also known as Rekindle, and we were the bosses, bro. Even up to now, if anybody talks about rap music, those 4 guys is gonna be the ones mentioned. I'm telling you. Even some people, when they want to talk about who's the best, they would try to even say like, "Oh, but Jeffrey's better than you, boy, Dizzy," or Dizzy, "Oh, you better than Jeffrey," or Sin Gambit better than you, boy, Dizzy, or no, but Two Clips, he gangsta, he got a better gangsta bars, boy, he the best, boy. You know what I mean? Like they're comparing us against each other.
Yeah, there's no one else.
There's no one else that could be comparing to. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we were the team, boy, and we had big dreams. We had big dreams, man. We were going.
What were those dreams? I mean, growing up in Cayman, because if you were, say, let's say, rapping on this level back in Oklahoma or Port Arthur, Texas, you're a lot closer to a city that has like a music scene and a music industry and a label compared to Cayman, which doesn't have that infrastructure.
Yeah, there's like no opportunity for anything like that in Cayman. Nothing at all, boy. It was nowhere I could go to present this music, and
yeah,
you know what I mean? Or
so what were your dreams back then?
boy, honestly, I mean, to me, and that's what the goal was. It was like, all right, I said to myself, I trust in these guys that they would do the same for me. So my plan in my head specifically was, I'm gonna try to make sure to bust. I'm gonna make my music get out there, and then when someone hears it and they give me a deal, I'm gonna be like, yo, this is my brother, and these are my two homies. They coming to ride along too, and they got bars. So it's not like I'm trying to put some phonies along with us too. These dudes is fire too. You know what I mean? So and how I seen it, we were gonna do some damage in the rap game, yo. We were gonna do some damage. The Island Boys for one, you know what I mean? Like Cayman Island rappers, like nobody else was gonna represent Cayman as good as we did when it came to bars.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that would have put and after that I was gonna put Cayman on the map, and not just for music, for any talent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like I know that there's a lot of like footballers down here and a lot of artists down here and all kind of great talent down here that just can't be put to anything. When people can easily be famous somewhere else. You know what I mean? But in here in Cayman, you can't do nothing. You're not recognized. The only thing Cayman's recognized for is the money laundering or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Like even when you hear it in movies and stuff like that, you hear about, oh, this bank in the Cayman Islands, the bank, and everything is banking in Cayman Islands. Like there's more to Cayman than a bank, bro.
Yeah, no, we've got a lot of great talent here, and to your point, and I completely agree that it's definitely easier now in the year 2024 to get out there more, especially with the internet. But back in the early 2000s, when what years were you in school? Around early 2000s?
Yeah.
Around early 2000s, it wasn't like that back then. So what were you like making, like mixtapes? Were you like physically sending them in the mail to different cities? Or what were you doing?
Most of the time in the beginning, it was just us rapping together all the time, and we'd make a new song, and then we would try to be like, if you want to be on it, and we build it up together, and we try to keep them in hopes to try to get into a studio. You know what I mean? And try to make it a good recording, you know? And we got into a couple of studios, but everybody was just like, a lot of times it's like, when we got into that studio, bro, these men here just turned bad mind, bro.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Like, be bad mind?
Yeah, for those who don't know.
I mean, to me, how I see it is like, just like to block your emotion, bro. You know what I mean? Because like if something going on good for you, try to ruin it, or just don't help bring it into motion. You know what I mean?
And this is a studio we're talking about.
Yeah.
Surely a studio would be like, oh, this guy's coming in to record. Great, because we're gonna help him make this beautiful track and send it on. What was that experience like for you, going to studios and seeing that?
Well, all right. And to me, in my head, I was going to be this guy's gold mine, bro. He is going to be, how I seen it like with Slim Shady and Dr. Dre and that. I like, you know what I mean? I wanted that kind of vibe to go on with my producer, you know, and them under like this. And like Dr. Dre's down for M and M is down for Dr. Dre. So that's how I was looking for it to be, you know?
Yeah.
But most of these young dudes in the beginning, bro, like, they're trying to be rappers too, and then when the track comes on, it's my turn to record. I drop something, it's fire, and these dudes just come like, I don't know, like they get jealous and they're like, they don't even bother with it again, bro. Because you can't tell me you didn't continue with me because I was whack. You can't say that because nobody will tell you that Dizzy is whack at rap, brother. Far from it. Far from it. You understand?
Right.
So what it is your problem is then? Why ain't we continuing in this motion? How come all of a sudden after I drop these bars, now you can't hear from you again, can't see you again?
They intimidated. You got them shook.
You understand? And to me, in my mind, all right, how I seen it, because all right, I wouldn't even mind if I was in there in that studio with somebody that had more talent than me. If we're all on the same team, I don't care, bro. We could have been the G unit, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if I was the Tony Yayo at the G unit, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? And no offense to Tony Yayo. Tony Yayo was a good rapper and all, but he was like the one that was looked at the less. It was more of like
50.
Yeah, and Young Buck and Lloyd Banks. They were the ones that would look more as, especially like Lloyd Banks. He was the one that looked at with the most talent. You know what I mean? But I wasn't caring as long as we all in this and we all doing this and living it out. Yeah, you know what I mean?
So you really wanted to be a professional rapper?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
When did you start seeing like, oh, you know, maybe rapping isn't gonna work out for me professionally?
Well, I don't know. I started kind of seeing it like that, but at the same time, it's like I was just so in love with rapping. I was just so good at it because I guess especially because I was so good at it, and I wasn't at first. It was just like, well, I'm just gonna do it for fun, even if I don't make it. You know?
Yeah, for the love of the game.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. And I love listening to myself. I'm my own favorite rapper. You know?
Like, you know, it's a lot of artists, like, they don't like listening to themselves or reviewing their own work, but I like that you listen to your own
Well, I
work.
jam to my stuff, bro. I love my music, yo. I love it, especially if I got like my brother or my brethren on it and things like that.
Mhm.
Man, that's even better, bro. Even better.
Can you describe that feeling?
Let's say, by just feeling a part of a part of something, feeling connected, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Feeling purpose filled, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Because, I mean, and even better when you have someone to do it with, you're not alone, bro. So it's like you got this team and we all just doing doing our thing, you know, and we all good and we all vibing, bro, and it's fun, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, to try to put it into different terms, like two artists collaborating. It's like, and I mean that in like in any kind of form, you know what I mean? Like let's just put it into a sport or something. The two great sports at football.
Mm-hmm.
They both on the same team. Oh man, these guys are gonna pound up this thing to pieces, or this is gonna be something worth watching. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
And that's how I always seen it. Is like because all of us was good, all of us. So a track with me and my brother and my brethren is gonna be like that's gonna be fire. You know what I mean? You got a spice of all kind of different flavors mixed into one joint. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's all good, you know. So yeah, man, it was. Boy, I don't know. I loved it, man. It was nice.
So around this time, you like finishing up with high school?
Yeah, because I mean, we started in high school still. We started like, I mean, I was fondling with it in like middle school,
Mm-hmm.
but by the time I got to high school, man, I was professional with it, bro.
Nice.
Yeah, like I could really, cause again, in the beginning, I could only drop like 2 bars or whatever, but they were nice bars. My brother, he could freestyle long. His bars were so good, but my bars were potent. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But and we just kept on rapping with each other all the time because we always loved each other's bars and we get like ideas off of each other and you know what I mean, learn off of each other's styles and stuff like that. Because my brother, he was more of the flow artist, and then my next virgin, he at the time, 2 clips to me, he had like the syllables down locked, bro. He was like how he would position his rhymes, where he would put them, and continue the rhyme scheme, and then and then to me, I kind of took the 2 ideas off of them that kind of make my try to combine some flow with them syllables and made my bars now more potent. And you know what I mean?
You speak about potent bars. What makes a bar potent?
Well, all right. To me, at this point now, how I see it, I mean, there's a lot of varieties to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not like there's one thing that's a potent bar. You know what I mean? Because there's a whole wide spread of it. But to me, the main thing you would need to make your music sound good is a nice flow and your syllables. Once you got that, you at least sound good.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you have something to say, that makes it all the much more better.
Like a message.
Yeah. And then if you can add some metaphor to that or simile or something like that, you're packing punches now. You know what I mean?
So I take it you must have spent a lot of attention in English class.
Well, not really, no. But I paid a lot of attention to rap and I caught the concept of it. I could break this down to a science and turn you into a rapper, bro. I can do that. I can turn anybody into a rapper. I could teach you what to do. I could show you what it is you're doing wrong and show you how to do it right and make you into a rapper. No, I can't say no what's gonna happen, like how your swag is or your style or what you rap about but I can make you be able to rap. I can help you. That is not a problem. I mean, when I say rap, I mean like rap to the science of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can show you like, all right, well, you're using too much wordplay right here, or your rhymes are only single syllable, and that's why the rhyme doesn't sound so strong. Or if you're gonna drop a single syllable, kind of stretch that sound out so the rhyme sounds more stronger, because that's the purpose to me of the double syllables and the triple syllables. The rhyme is just out there now. You can hear it clear. It's almost just like it's landing together, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. You had mentioned during your high school days you were having, I guess, a time digesting all this attention. But as your rap career was growing during this time, what was the attention like closer to like graduation? Were you just that guy on George Hicks campus that had all the bars?
Because again, you see what happened is at the same time is everybody else is still trying to they still full of themselves as a kid, and everybody's in competition with each other. So none of the other dudes outside of us wanted to try to admit that we were the bomb diggity, you know.
Mm-hmm. Everyone felt that they had something to prove.
Yeah, yeah.
So did like kids from all like classes come up to you like nonstop trying to like take that title away from you?
No, not really. Still, but they wanna try to beat off their mouth and try to say that they better, you know.
Without
proving it.
Without proving it.
Yeah.
Dang.
But we were vicious, so we kind of took shots at people enough times. Still, I'm not want to try to get too deep in that and mention names because I don't want no hatred to go on.
Yeah.
Still, but yeah,
it wasn't a joke for you.
You know, we were serious with that. Yeah, we would diss you out, well, we would diss you out, and that's why my brother got into that whole battle thing. It's like, yo, who want a piece, yo? Who want a piece? I'll put you in the dirt, brother. You know what I mean? That's what my brother was about, boy.
Sing Gambit.
Yeah, boy. He wasn't playing either, boy. And he wasn't. Yo, in fact, the more better you were supposed to be,
yeah,
he was willing to take you on to prove that you're not on par. And look at the thing about my brother, right? It's like when you start battling him, the better you do, the better he could. You could push him into another dimension that he was better, like make him better than he was before because of the pressure you putting on him. Yo, my boy get fired up, brother. He'll get, I see my brother rap sometimes and I'm like, yo, there's like this man over here just turned up on another level, yo. You know what I mean? Yo, my brother, yo. He would, honestly, especially in the beginning, he was more sicker with the freestyles. He would, because he could just go forever, ever and ever and ever. You know what I mean? And he had rhymes, but sometimes that's not enough. You know, you gotta have something to say. And then when somebody come up with some nice bar, and everybody be like, ooh, that would make Gambit just like ooh, let me show you ooh. You know what I mean? So yeah.
How would you describe you and your brother, especially in that time? Because it seems like you're I guess you're the older brother. You have to clear the way for your younger brother. But it seems like Sin had some like hyperactivity going on where you just freestyle anybody. Because I'm just thinking of like who would that guy be in high school who's like just going out to anybody and saying, "Hey, you want to battle? You want to battle?" Honestly, it takes a certain type of strength.
Honestly, I was like,
and self-belief.
Yeah. Gambit was kind of full of himself, so for real. But I was kind of more of the beast in the closet. You know what I mean? Just waiting for the door to open so I can be released. You know,
silent but deadly.
Yeah. But
like a volcano.
Yeah, because that's what happened too. When I was finally put out there, I just started popping off, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Popping off. I mean, like viral to a point that I don't even. I didn't understand how. I didn't even know the levels of how viral I was getting, bro. I didn't even know until I started seeing the people coming up to me, the people who never used to like me before, all of a sudden rating me. You know what I mean?
What was that like? How did that make you feel? All this extra attention.
Yo, brother, it was like, oh, you like me now? You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's all good. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, now you see there's more to me than what you see. You know what I mean? Because especially at that time, I was like at the lowest peak of lowest part of my life. So a lot of people were looking at me like trash and dirt and like something wrong with you, brother. You need to do something with yourself. You know?
What age is that?
That would I would say somewhere in my early 30s.
Fair. So who were you in your 20s? I believe I met you in your early 30s, but who were you in your 20s? What was going on in your life?
Boy, I had my relationship with my baby mother, and boy, it was just focused with that, you know.
Yeah.
And I had my kids, and a lot of drama was just going on, and I was just trying to sort a lot of that out, and a lot of that went into my rap music too, you know.
Yeah.
and
As inspiration.
yeah, it was
Seems like it.
no, I mean, because at the same time, my music was a vent for me, some a way to vent,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I don't know why, but when I put it down, and when I put my problems down into my music, I felt like a burden came off me, you know.
Mm-hmm. You get it off your chest, literally.
Yeah. And sometimes it was even better when other people heard it, they related to it, or they were touched by it. That kind of made it even more lighter than just making it on piece of paper or on a track. When other people were touched by it or they responded to it to a certain way, it made it more, I don't know, a better release for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Nice. So you going through? So you have your children. How many children do you have?
I have 2 kids.
You have 2 kids. How are your kids today?
They're awesome, man.
That's good.
Yeah, very much awesome, bro. I'm so happy to be a part of their life and see what kind of people they've grown to be, and they're. It's so nice. The relationship I have with them is very awesome. I'm very proud of them. You know.
Yeah. So when we brought up your 20s about your baby mother and what that and all that was going on, you seemed like to kind of like tense up. Was that quite a rough time for you?
Yeah, that was a rough patch. Because all right, let me put it like this. After all right, during school, with the whole rap thing, we would up on some real bad boy vibes too, you know. And
Do you think that was just was that guy who you guys just were, or did you have like some sort of image thing going on?
well, all right, let's put it this way. My badness really kicked off when I was, I don't know exactly what age, but I was young, and I got my mother. She was on drugs, and she was messing around with these drug head guys and stuff like that, and they were abusive, and I ended up fighting them a lot to try to protect my mother. And this is me as a young boy, young bitty boy. And one day, when I beat up one of the guys, he looked at her and he said, "Look, either you get rid of this boy here, or me and you are done." And mind you, he provided a lot for her, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess she felt scared to get rid of him, so she chose to get rid of me. So I ended up on the street homeless. And the same brethren that I mentioned earlier, Scrooge,
Yeah.
2 Clips, I ended up going into his parents' place and living in their place. And at that time, their area was Gangstaville, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and the drug task force was coming in there multiple times a day.
Jeez,
You know what I mean? Drugs being sold and violence going down, and we were warring the next district in Bawden Down, West Bay versus Bawden Down, and every time we went to the cinema, there was like serious violence, people getting chopped or getting rocks thrown in their head, bottles popping over people's heads, and it was like warfare, bro. So and then I got caught up in a lot of the selling drugs and stuff like that to try to make a living, you know.
How old were you when your mother kicked you out?
Well, this is what I'm saying. I think I might have been around like 16. That's the most, probably even 15, but I think about 16.
And did your other 2 brothers go with you, or
No.
just you?
Yeah.
Where were your other 2 brothers?
They were still in the house.
Still in the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cause you remember I was the one that was dealing with the boyfriends. I was the one I was the one beating them up. So I was the one that got I was the ultimatum, either that guy or me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she.
If I can ask, what was he providing her that made her choose?
You gotta remember, all right. You gotta put it like this. You gotta understand. And I know it's probably hard to understand, but when you're under a drug addiction, especially the one my mother was under, you would make decisions that you would normally not make, and you would probably regret. You know, and I can understand it now because of the fact that I was on that same drug. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, I don't understand it. I was like, did my mother hate me? Why did she abandon me? What? but it's the drug.
Dang.
And she's being fed this drug by this guy. So at the same time, she needs the, and her, when you're on that drug, bro, it feels like this, it's a source of living. Like this, like it's food. This is how I survive. This is how I stay alive. Without this, I die.
Jesus.
That's just how this drug feels.
Which drug are we referring to?
Crack.
Dang.
Yeah.
That powerful.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I could say that one is such a, that would tear you apart to your lowest. It will. Like, all right, even when I was on powder coke at first, I would sell it, pay rent, feed myself. Everything was still legit, even when I started using it. You know what I mean? I could still take care of things. But you see, the second I smoked that crack, turned into a bum on the street, bro. Standing in front of shops, just not eating no food. Like just begging money and things like that, and just to get a little crumb to smoke up and things like that. The lowest that I've ever seen myself could ever be. I didn't even imagine I could ever be that low, bro. You know what I mean? And I couldn't get myself out of it either. And it's almost like I was haunted, bro. You know?
Before we get into that, so you're a young man. You're caught in these gang conflicts between West Bay and Boddentown. What is that doing to your mental health?
Bro, at the time, I'm feeling pumped, boy. I'm feeling like, yo, I'm on top of the world. Like, I'm conquering everything. Ain't nobody can mess with us, boy. And I'm making my money.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling like, yo, I'm feeling powerful, bro. I was feeling powerful. I felt like I found where I was supposed to be.
A drug dealer.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the consequences behind it.
How did selling drugs make you feel powerful?
Because money was coming in, yo, and I could take care of myself.
Did you have your kids at this time?
No. I didn't meet my baby mother till I was probably about like 22.
All right.
At this time, I was probably around 16, 17.
16, 17, moving, making money, hand over fist.
Yeah, man. And going out to bars or clubs and
Just
drinking and smoking weed and messing with girls, you know.
Living a good life.
That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like, but it crumbles apart quick because like by the time I was like 20, I had to constantly look over my shoulder and thing.
Were you paranoid or
Just because
repercussions of your actions?
Yeah, because when you mess around with people, bro, they're gonna want revenge, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I wasn't instigating no problems, but I would fight for my friends, and my friends' enemies would be my enemy then.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I get you completely.
So, and some of the people, boy, after a while, it going out wasn't going out to get girls anymore. It was going out and going in and just war. That's all it was all the time. And I would even try to talk to my brethren sometimes and be like, yo, all right, so we're going to go look girls tonight, right? And he's like, yeah, man. I said, yo, no fighting, yeah. No fighting. You know what I mean? And
What is this, like you sitting them down, like team meeting?
No, because
we're getting girls tonight.
because the homie wants me to come out with him. But at the same time, I'm like, yo, I don't want to go out and just try to fight people, bro. That's not what I'm looking to do.
You want to make love?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is the whole reason why to me of going out. It's not to go out there and look for enemies, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it was something that was the plan, well, then I could be prepared for it and just have that in mind.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to go out there and have a good time, and the next thing I know, things is popping off, and you're expecting me to defend for you, and I mean, and I'm going to, you know what I mean? Because you're my friend. I don't want to see nothing bad happen to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you feel somewhat like obligated because your friends took you in and they were involved in this lifestyle? So because they took you in, did you feel like, oh, because you guys looked out for me at my lowest, I will help you guys fight your battles?
With some of them. With other ones, it wasn't really an obligation. It was more of, that's what I'm going to do for you because, I mean, this is the best words I could use for it. I love them, bro. I love them like brothers. And it wasn't an obligation to do anything for these brothers. Look at these brothers here. I would do the world for them, bro. I would turn up the place upside down for these people because they would do the same thing for me. I seen the same things they would do for me. And all up to another same homie, me and him is like this, brother. Me, Scrooge and Two Clips is like this. This. And he's so happy for me too right now to see where I'm doing with my life. And it was hurtful for him to see where I was. You know what I mean? That dude right there is a bona fide homie to the T. I don't care what anybody want to think. Like, oh yeah, we were in the streets and getting in these problems. But look at we were both young, trying to figure things out, bro. You know what I'm saying? And to me, finally figured out what it is I really need to be doing. To me, it was really hard, especially with the dream looking like it's not coming true, and then having the situation with my relationship with my baby mother, and then having her mother like kind of take back the kids. Like she just kind of shielded them from me, wasn't allowing me to be able to see them and stuff like that, and I just kind of broke apart, and that's how I ended up like snorting cocaine and then.
So you were going through some family drama, and the pressure turned you on to cocaine.
Yeah.
As a relief.
Like the breakup between me and my baby mother was already heartbreaking, right? But then when I want to try to be in my kid's life, at least that's like double the heartbreak. It's like I'm looking at God at this moment, like I hate you. Why are you tearing my life apart like this? What am I doing? You know what I mean? And I had a big resentment against God at the time. I hated God. I would start cursing God and all that, bro. I was like, because to me, I was like, why is it to me in my mind I'm a good person, and I'm trying cause like, all right, when me and my baby mother got together and she was pregnant, I decided to try to change my life from then. I said, you know what, I'm gonna stop selling drugs. I'm gonna go get a job so I can be somebody presentable for my son.
Right. Because
I want my son because I'm gonna be the example for him, right? So I don't want him to follow the steps of being in that street life, and he having to look over his corner, him going to prison and being up. I know how prison felt for me. Like I wasn't getting no problems or no fights in prison, but bro, being up in there felt like you're dead. I feel like you're just like in what are that place between heaven and hell?
Purgatory.
Purgatory. That's where it felt like you were in, bro.
Damn.
You know, that's how it feels to me at least. You know what I mean? You're just trapped in this box with nothing to do and nothing to live for. You know what I mean? So to me, at least that's the feelings I got out of it. You know what I mean? And sitting up in there and just, boy, I feel like you're just rotting away and all that. I don't want my son to go through. You know what I mean? I wanted to show him the example of a hardworking man that takes care of the wife and kids, and you know what I mean? I wanted to be that example. But unfortunately, I didn't have no good resume history or anything like that to try to get a great job. You know what I mean? I did get something, and I wanted to just try to improve myself, but the money wasn't coming in like how it was
when you were selling drugs.
You know, son. So
could you explain, because K-Man has quite a high reoffending rate. Could you explain the difference in like how fast it is to make money selling drugs compared to like a regular job?
Boy, all right. It really depends, because in the beginning it's kind of tough because you have to grow your market, you know. And as a young boy living under someone else's roof and trying to take care of myself, I had to keep trying until the guys, the OGs, they were making their market go to me.
Right.
So they would make the customers be more familiar with me, and they could feel more comfortable. Because when the dope fiends, when they see a new they're like, they automatically are like, no, I'm not buying from you, because they don't know nothing about you. You know what I mean? I'm looking for the popular drug dealer, the one that I know has the chunks or whatever, and blah blah blah.
Right.
And the OG would say, yo, he has the same stuff as I do, and he's selling it the same size for the same prices. And they're like, oh, let me see. And then bang, it'll start rolling into play, you know what I mean? And then when you got a good link too, that gives you a good decent price, because there's people who's gonna be popping you off too. There's people who's gonna pretend they're selling you an O when it's really not an O, or it's cut to pieces, like just mixed with a bunch of other stuff. So once you got a good link that's giving you good prices and you got a good market, man, you can pile in the money. I don't even know I can't even really put a number on it, but you can bring in the money. You can buy a car within a week, like no problem, a nice, good car.
Selling coke.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Well, at least this was my experience with it, you know?
So having that experience, making enough money to buy a car in a week, and then working a regular job, and a regular job, it don't give you.
It's like you paying rent, and you feeding yourself, and then the rest of your money is to make sure you make it to work and be presentable. You know what I mean? That's what it just feels like. You're just working to keep to be alive.
would you say, in a sense, that too is like a purgatory?
Yeah, brother. That's slavery, bro. That's like, yeah, it's like you're not living, bro. You're just working and to just have something over your head and to eat food and to be able to make it back to work again. It's like you're living for somebody else then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, but what was that like for you? Because you wanted to be, a role model for your child, but you have to deal with this. You were making a lot of money selling drugs, and now you have to work a regular job. What was that like?
Well, see, that's the thing that I didn't even get the chance to even get to that point because, like I said, when my baby mother was pregnant, is when I decided to make this decision. And before the child was even was born, it was like, all right. But no, that's a lie. That's a lie. After he was born, like probably like a year. No, all right. As soon as he was born, my baby mother's mother was there at the hospital, and she was like explaining motherhood to my baby mother, and my baby mother, I guess, kind of got frightened, and she went to go live with her mother, which separated me and her. But at the same time, I was like just trying to stay focused and saying to myself, well, when she gets prepared enough to come live back with me and stuff like that, then at least I'll have some money going or whatever. But me and her being apart, I guess, I don't know. And her mother didn't want her with me from the beginning because I was a drug dealer. You know what I mean? And but I'm trying to change my life, but she don't see it that way. She just, I don't know.
Do you think if you had transitioned in her eyes from drug dealer to working man, what I'm saying is...
No, because you see, this is what happened. If we're going to get deep into this story now, this is what happened now. Because again, like I said, I've been already made a decision to try to make my life this way, more legit. But now all of a sudden, my baby mother and me are not together now. And then she starts running around doing her foolishness. And she ends up taking my baby mother to court. And they get custody over the children. Over the child. And mind you, at this time, I'm sober. No alcohol, no ganja, not even cigarette, brother. Nothing. And I'm only working at a little restaurant, and I got my own little one-room apartment. You know what I mean? Trying to make it through. The judge looks at me and says, "Brian, you're doing a fantastic job. Nothing wrong with you, but the grandmother is more capable of putting the kid through school and doing this and that. Plus, she would be the one that's second in line, I guess, for the guardianship of the child." So, and then this happens, and I'm like, all right, whatever, still. And like, what, but I still get to be involved in my kid's life, right? And they're like, yeah, visitations will be involved, but it'll be supervised visits at first or whatever until this and that. But she's the legal guardian, so it's under her terms. I never got to see these kids, bro. Never got to see it. It was just beer running around story all the time. And when I show my face up at the church, and again, I'm sober, not selling drugs. I'm working, taking care of myself. I just coming to see my kid. That's all I want to do and interact with my kid. You know what I mean? I'm even willing to fork over some money and whatever, and this and not just to
be with your kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't happening. And one day I went up by his school, brought him some chips and some juice, and next thing I know, when I go to try to do it again, police were telling me, no, you're not allowed to be doing that because the visits are supposed to be supervised and all this. Brother, I broke down to madness then. I'm like, yo, it's like, no matter what I do, brother, I just can't get a proper life. I just want to live like normal people do, and I'm trying my best, bro. You know what I mean? And this sent me crazy, and then after that, relapsed on alcohol and ganja. Just going at it hard too, and then it was like it wasn't enough to take away the pain. So I say, you know what? Let me try this then. Snorted cocaine and bro, when I did that, my rapping felt like it was easy now. Like I could come with bars like this, and all of a sudden when I did that, it was like it brought that momentum and with that pain and then with that speedy thought with my rhymes, I put all that together and say, I'm gonna go attack this rapping thing to the max. You know what I mean? I went all out into rap. I mean, all I did was rap and sell drugs and take care of everything and use the drugs and rap. This is all I was. I was like trapped in a cave then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I was just a rap addict in a cave, bro. Yeah, that was me for years after that. You know what I mean?
So this is in your 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long was that going on for? Before you smoked crack?
It was going on for I don't know, cause probably like 5 years, probably about 5 years. Yeah. And yeah, man, and I had boy.
I gotta ask, in that 5 years since you relapsed, were you seeing your kids at all?
No, after I tell you no lie, after a while I kind of just gave up. 'Cause I just felt like it was hopeless.
Shit.
Yeah, that was the wrong thing to do. I should have just kept at it, which is what I did this time around.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, through the grace of God, everything's been lined up so beautifully, how it all happened. I don't know if you want me to get.
Yeah, man.
All right. So when I'm in the rehab, cause I'm in the rehab at that time, I was
So this is in that 5-year period.
No. This is very recently.
Let's get
That
to
was one.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's get to that. So you have a good 5-year stint smoking, drinking, doing coke.
Yeah.
Where did crack come in?
All right. All right. Cause I again no my baby mother would get reconnected with me, but then we would break up, and it was just like this on and off thing, and I don't know. After a while, I just kind of just feel like, and I had some like phony bridgings, bro, backstabbing bridgings. You know what I mean? Like not the one like Scrooge to clips. Like I just started meeting other kind of bridgings, and boy, it's
Do you think they were just hanging around you for the drugs?
probably more than likely. Or with the rap thing too, because some of them were trying to rap, some of them already knew how to rap, you know. So it was kind of like we're both on a mutual thing, and I don't know. It just every time I started to like try to get close with people, it's just like it ended up going to crap, bro. So I don't know, and all my other friends were doing their own thing, you know what I mean, with their life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I moved on with mine too. You know, I met my baby mother and tried to make a life over out there, and they're doing the same thing with their life over that way.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
And like I said, from then at that point, from having my child, I was trying to change my life, and nothing wrong to me. I wasn't like trying to put them down for living their gangster life, but I was trying to kind of get out of it at that time, you know.
Because you saw the repercussions of your actions,
Yeah.
of those actions.
So I mean, my homies are still my homies, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to really try to get involved anymore. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to live a normal life, you know. But it just felt like I couldn't get the chance to live like normal people, so I ended up kind of always going back to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I already knew how to do it, and I had links, and I had people.
You had infrastructure, a
Yeah.
whole system, a network, as they
Yeah.
call it. Yeah.
So it was like very easy to go back into it. And sometimes I would tell myself, well, I'm just not going to sell the coke, because that's probably what's causing all this problems in my life. Probably why God is pissed off at me or something. So I'm just going to sell the weed. You know what I mean? This was the ideas that were going in my head, at least. You know what I mean? The concepts that were going in my head, because you always hear everybody talk about like ganja is not a bad thing or whatever and stuff like that.
Is ganja a gateway drug?
I don't know. I can't say what it is, because with my experience, it was just a part of me. So I didn't even see it as a drug. I saw it was like as a healing method. You know what I mean? When I felt sad, and it made me happy. You know.
Mm-hmm.
With the other drugs, it was more of a stimulate. You know what I mean? Or a personality help. Like alcohol made me more talkative with girls.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of looking at them and being nice and cool, I was more of a bad boy now, with full of lyrics, just chatting them up. You know what I mean? And cocaine made me more, to me in my head, like made me more smart. My brain was like clicking then, like my brain moved fast, and that's why to me I was able to like freestyle so easily, because I didn't need to sit down there and think about nothing no more. I could just talk it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And by doing that all the time, it made it easy to even do it without it. Then I could just, because it's like practice. Then you know what I mean? So it's like I got so familiar with a wide spread of vocabulary and what words rhyme with what. Is like it was impossible for me to not find a rhyme. You know? So, but that's what those two drugs were. But ganja to me, it was like, I could see how it can be it can be a gateway drug for other people,
Mm-hmm.
and I can see how it can be a problem because I've seen people who didn't have no other drug problem. They didn't use coke. They didn't drink alcohol, but they smoked ganja and they burglarized people's homes just to support their ganja habit. So, you know what I mean? I can see how it could still be a bad thing too. You know what I mean? But for me personally, it wasn't like it had some negative impact in my life. But right now, I don't see no benefit for it. I don't. What's the sense of me smoking it at this point?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't need it, and to me, it's only going to be a burden for me to carry. You know what I mean? It's going to be a cost to my pocket. You know what I mean? And it's illegal unless I find a way to try to get medical marijuana or whatever, and to go through all that just to smoke that, and I don't need it. I'm doing perfectly fine without it. So I don't see no reason to pick it up. And let's just say this. If there's a possibility if I smoke that, it's going to lead to the cocaine and the crack or whatever, well, then, again, that's another reason why I should not touch it. You know what I mean? That's just how I'm looking at it right now. So I'd rather just stay away from all of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the time that crack was introduced in your life, because that was, I guess, a pivotal moment to your downfall.
I think what happened is, like, boy, like, bro, I just got sick of life at that time, and I said to myself, when I see how crack addicts respond to crack, like, they want it badly.
Yeah.
I said to myself, well, there's got to be something special about this that they go on so crazy for, you know? And cocaine, it already gave me a surprise.
Yeah.
And ecstasy and all these other drugs, and you know what I mean? It's like, wow, there's something outside of just smoking a little J and feeling nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's like a whole world of drugs out there to explore that just do things that are like,
whoa.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And to me, and how I was feeling in life, that's what I need is that whoa. You know what I mean? I need something to make me feel like life is worth living. You know?
Because I take it that 5 years was quite depressing then.
Yeah. And so that's why I tried it, but I wasn't even doing it right. I was just stuffing it in a cigarette and smoking it, and they're like, this ain't nothing really. But then one day somebody showed me how to do it properly. When I put it on the pipe, fireworks went off, boy, and it captured me and stole my soul after that, boy.
That one hit.
Yeah, bro. After that, I didn't know what else to do with myself besides chase that. Yeah, boy.
Were you working at the time?
Mm-mm.
So you just living like a street life, selling drugs, on drugs.
Yep.
And then when crack hit, you just...
I mean, sometimes I had jobs here and there and things like that, but like I said, that whole idea of trying to live a normal life, it was kind of hard for me to find it achievable, because so much times I would try and it's like so hard, and I would always get the crappiest jobs that I can't even survive with. You know what I mean? And
yeah, because you have how many? You have 2 kids to feed.
Yeah.
Or support. You know.
And these jobs that I was getting, because I mean, again, I didn't have a resume of some experience or a resume that looked good, like, oh, he held a job for a whole year or whatever, and this and that.
So no college after high school.
I didn't even finish high school. I got kicked out. Like I tell you, I wasn't too much bad in this one. Too much. I got kicked out of school, bro.
You just went to the streets.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I wasn't even in school, really. Like, I was skipping school so often, bro, just to go back on the street and sell some drugs, brother. Because of that, I mean, how I looked at it, boy, like, I know what I'm. I thought I had the thing figured out. I said, I'm just gonna sell drugs, make money, and live life to the max, man. That's how I felt. I felt like I grew up past everybody. Like, oh, you're still going to school, broke, depending on your mom and dad. I'm making money. That's just how I felt at the time.
Were you making like thousands a month?
No, man, I was, because there was still it was still there was a whole squad of us out there, so we still had to make our little fair share. Plus, the OGs are the ones that's in control, so they gotta really be, you know what I mean. But I was
Yeah.
still making good money though. I mean, look, trust me.
Enough to stun on the other kids at school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. So now you're chasing this high, crack. Can you describe what that means, chasing this high? What do you physically do? What is going through your mind? Are you are you selling off your belongings to buy crack? Like what's going on?
Nothing could have belonged to me, bro. Nothing. If that got in my hand, I would sell it, bro. I would sell it. Trust me. That's how bad it was. And the thing was, all right, you see, when you're in that state of mind and you're trying to look for something to take away your pain, and all it's doing is just taking it away for a moment,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that moment's gone, it's just like multiplied because those problems are still there,
Mm-hmm.
and now you have a next problem. You know what I mean? You're sunk even deeper into a financial hole, and not only that, the crash that happens with the crack, or even the cocaine, your body feels like it's just sick out, and the only thing that feels like it can cure it is to get more. You know, so you're in this constant cycle now of trying. The first hit is to try to feel better, and the hits after that is to try to get rid of the bad feeling that the feel better was supposed to give you.
Jeez, and it's just this never-ending cycle.
Yeah, it's just you can't do nothing with yourself, bro. And then the worst part about it is trying to quit. At least for me, because I was such an addict that it was like, and again, I feel like there was a demon hanging over me, bro. Like I almost felt like I didn't really have a choice. You know, I felt like I was forced to use. Like my body would just naturally carry me to this thing. It would trick me enough times in my head, like telling. I remember being in rehab, bro, and being like, "All right, I don't want to be in here no more. I'm just staying up in here for the longest time, doing nothing for myself. I want to go out there and make some money and take care of things. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do." The whole time, that was a lie in my head to get me out there and just start back on the same routine. You know what I mean? And then right back on the street.
Was this rehab in the States or in Cayman?
Here in Cayman.
All right.
I've been to rehab like multiple times, trying to get this thing right. And then other times, like every time I went there, I would have nightmares about using this thing. Like I'm trying to myself, man, I just want this thing out of my head, bro. I don't want to think about this. Why am I having nightmares and dreams about this? And then enough times when I'm just minding my own business, trying to write a song or watch some TV, all of a sudden this like overwhelming feeling just comes over me. It's like flashes, and I'm getting like visuals of it, of using it, and then like the feeling is coming over me, and it's like, yes, I need that right now, you know. And it's like kind of just grabs me then and just pulls me, you know. It's like a force that I can't reckon with, bro. I can't mess with, you know. There's a power greater than me. Drugs overpowered me by far, and I needed help beyond human power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
So how long was this going on for, your crack addiction?
I'd say I was on crack for about 7 years most, but probably about 5 years. But still, I mean, there's people that's been on it way longer than me. But trust me, when I was on it, bro, I was on it, bro. I was on it like stupid on it. Everybody knew about it too because I was just out there all the time.
Yeah, because I would remember you in West Bay in the Foster's parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
You'd ask for money.
Yeah, that's one of my hustling spots. Yeah, boy.
So how would you find money for crack? What would you do?
Rap
for crack?
Yeah. I mean, beg money too. I would beg a lot too. I would beg money, or sometimes I would do little side jobs for people. Sometimes at Foster's I would help like older ladies with their groceries, and they give me a little money for a tip. When they see me, they say, "Oh, it's that young man. Hey, come here, young man. Come help me with my groceries." And I help them, and they give me a little money, you know. Sometimes some people give me a little hour's work or whatever, and give me a little $10 or whatever, you know, and I go on crack, you know. And you know, that was the basic routine. But that was like 24/7. You would find me by either the 4-way, by the Pink Shop, or by Foster's during the day. By nighttime, I'm at the 4-way, by the 24-hour store, or by Subway. Just ongoing. Just, you know.
It just didn't stop for you.
Yeah.
I think around this time when I had known you back then, I think you were sleeping at the beach.
Yeah.
What was that? So you were homeless at the time.
Yeah.
Damn. You were just not in a good spot. Like how did you shower?
There was these shower heads by the beach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I would just use that there, but most of the time I didn't really have soap or shampoo, so I wasn't really clean, you know? Sometimes my grandmother would bring stuff for me, but people would badmouth me to the max, bro. Like, as soon as I get these things from my grandmother, I go hide them in the bush. And then people would find my clothes and stuff and go throw it in the garbage or...
Yeah, I remember you telling me something about that. I can't remember where this was. Yeah. I remember driving into West Bay one morning, I think, to go to the post office, and I had seen you, and you were telling me that some people had, like, thrown your clothes away. I
don't know why these people doing that for, bro. You're the same ones that want to run your mouth about me about me carrying myself this way. Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, when I have an opportunity, I get some clothes so I can start being clean and stuff. You don't like that. You want to see me looking stinking nasty and stuff like that. So you throw away my clothes because you don't want to see me looking okay. You know what I mean?
Why do you think people want to see you down and dirty rather than upright and clean?
So they can have someone to point at and try to put down and make themselves look better.
Damn.
That's what I feel. That's the only conclusion I can get out of it. Cause I wasn't doing nothing to you.
Yeah.
I didn't pay no mind to you. I didn't beg you no money either. I didn't, especially if you're a person that did beg money and you gave me some attitude, you wouldn't hear from me again. I wouldn't beg you no money. So you are just like completely exiled out of my thought process. I don't see you. Mm-hmm. You're invisible now. But no, you still see me all the time, man. You just can't get your eyes off of me. You can't stop talking about me. My name is on your tongue like crazy.
Dizzy.
You know what I mean? And I don't know why.
Dizzy from West Bay.
Just, you know what I mean? In my head, just like, I wish you would see me the way I see you. Invisible. Just leave me alone, bro. Mm-hmm. You know? I'm not bothering you, so don't bother me. But no, they just had to come mess with me, brother. I ain't like... I don't know.
It's so sad though because it's not. You're down and out. You're on your wits end, and these people, and you get a nice fresh pair of clothes, and these people actually go out of their way to
what I'm saying,
ruin
bro?
Your life.
Like, yo, where you gotta be as a human being to have that kind of thought process, bro? What? Like, why would you do that? Why? I would never think it or have that in my heart or my mind to say to myself, what, he got some clothes? Let me throw away those clothes so he don't have any clothes.
Dang. Were you robbing to keep your addiction afloat?
No. That's one thing everybody kind of loved about me is I was very legit. I would do no favor, like all by the license department. Yeah. People would give me $200, $500 or whatever to go and license and insure their car or whatever it is that the paperwork was. I didn't really understand it. But I know that I was doing a favor for these people and they were going to pay me. Uh-huh. They would give me these hundreds of dollars, take off to go do what they needed to do. Yeah. Because that's what I was there for, to handle this while they go do whatever they needed to do. Yeah. Right? Because they knew in the driver license department that it's going to take a while. They got to collect the number and sit down and wait till...
Is this the West Bay one or the Georgetown one?
Yeah, the West Bay one. Yeah. So they know that it's a long process, and how they figured it. I'll make this boy handle this, while I go handle my business and come back, and everything's sorted out. And it was. That became a business for me, a routine. That's why I had loved signing up around there too. But right across from the Pink Shop, it was either the Pink Shop or right there. Mm-hmm. 'Cause I knew I could collect business. That somebody would be like, "Hey, go handle this paperwork for me with the license department while I go do something. When I come back, I'll sort you out." I'm like, "Yeah, man."
So even though you're struggling with this crippling drug addiction, you still have a good name in the street that people would give you responsibility in.
Yo, there's a lady by the 4-way shop called, enough of them actually, but there's one up to now, she still says, "Hey, look, it's my bodyguard," when she sees me. Because I used to help, when I was in front of that store, nobody was robbing that store. You know, or nobody was giving those ladies trouble because I was there. You know what I mean? And the ladies would tell you they felt safe that I was right there. That they even told their boss let him stay out there. And the bosses would say, no, he's begging the customers money. And then she said, but no, but he's protecting us. He's keeping us safe. I feel safe when he's there. And it was a living fact that, and I mean, you can even see how much time that store even has gotten robbed now that I'm not there. You know what I mean? A couple of times well, it's gotten robbed now. But when I was there, none of that shit was happening, bro. Nah. You wasn't messing with my peoples, bro. But I try to, like, ease it off with the begging and try to just, like, open the door for people or go into the store for people and hopes that I might get something, you know?
Yeah.
And this is... Yo, cause this was like I mean, I was still selling drugs too, because there was tourists that come down, and they were looking for drugs, and people would say, well, that boy, he's on drugs. He should know where he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then after that, got a market after that. This one man, I see this one time, a tourist would come in, and they were like, hey, I was told about you. You can help me get some weed? And I'm like, yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, who told you? And they said their friend said that they came to the Cayman Islands and there was this boy by the pink shop that he is cool. You can go check him and you won't get robbed and you'll get your proper hookup. This is how legit I still was, bro.
What?
Yeah, bro. I was dealing with people proper. I ain't gonna lie, no. I ain't gonna say that I didn't chip off a few people, but most of the time those are people who did me bad first. Because there'll be times that people will say, yeah, they'll hook me up with a little $5 or $10 and two turn around when I come back with their things. They give me $1 or a little like speck of whatever I got for them, the product I got for them, whether it was the cocaine or the ganja. Like you took advantage of me. I just play it off. I'm like, all right, yeah, man, thanks, man, cool, man. Next time you send me though, especially if it was a good amount of money, you're getting popped off back. You know what I mean?
Ethics.
But yeah.
So I gotta ask, when did you get the triangle tattooed on your forehead? Because as long as I've known you, which is quite some time, you've had that tattoo.
I think I don't know, it was in the late 20s.
What inspired you?
Well, I was just living my rap star life, well, you know what I mean? Just doing with whatever I wanted, and then I guess it was a little bit of the whole, like, all right, if you notice the tattoo up here is the Triforce. I really liked playing Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
And to me, I don't know, tattoos is like there's a way of representing yourself, you know. And a lot of rappers or rock stars, they're fully tatted up, you know what I mean? And I don't know, I just liked that, you know what I mean? And I said to myself, well, this is going to be wild because ain't nobody got no tattoo on their forehead, so.
Yes, what do the 3 G's stand for?
God all the way. God, 3 entities of God.
Nice. That's cool. So what happened in your life to finally, you've been having this battle with crack, you've been going in and out of rehabs, crack is winning. Where did you get the strength to finally defeat crack?
I tell you, boy, it's all God, Bobo. That's all God. I could not do this. I wasn't able to, and honestly, God has always been available for me to do it, but I wasn't listening. I had my own idea, and I was falling for the tricks of the devil, you know. And but this time around, I guess I started taking accountability for what's been going on wrong with my life. That what is my fault, you know? Unlike the first time when I started cursing out God and having a resentment towards God, I started looking at things like what it is that I was doing. I was a drug dealer. I was in the gang violence. Of course, my life is gonna have these consequences, and it's not God's fault. It's my fault, you know. And what I need to do is try to do the right thing. And yes, I've done so much crap in my life. It's gonna be hard, but the only way I'm gonna be able to get out of it is to try hard and keep trying hard, and don't give up like what I did with my kids. You know what I mean? Because after a while of not being able to see my kids, I just decided to give up. And these are things I started recognizing within myself. You know what I mean? Start living a more straightforward life and don't give up when times get hard. You know? And And every other time I went to the rehab, I would either dip out and leave, or as soon as things got good, I would just start using drugs, you know, or start selling drugs again, thinking like I just add this drug money to this pathetic money that I'm getting from this job, you know.
Would you say those were the tricks the devil played on you?
Yeah, definitely. But this time, I kind of just listened to what was suggested to me, you know. And but honestly, the messed up thing is, bro, I tell you no lie. In the beginning, I was, because I still had that way of thinking, still mess with me. And the chemicals are still up in my head. I'm still trying to come off of this stuff, and the devil is still in my head. So I don't know. I'm listening to these counselors and these people in the NA program, and I'm like, you know what? You guys are so big talk about how your program can work. I'm gonna do everything that you guys say, and I bet you it fail. So my idea was to do everything they say, and everything end up failing, and I'd be like, see, nothing worked. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the opposite happened. It all ended up working. You know what I mean? Because I did everything that was suggested to me. You know what I mean? And but definitely when I was up in the rehab, I was doing I had a lot of struggle going on, especially with the urges, bro. Like I tell you, my urges ain't as simple as, damn, oh, I really like some crack right now. No, it was body feelings, sensations, visuals. You know what I mean?
What visuals were you seeing?
Well, for all of, like Pacific with the crack, I would see like the pipe, and then the lighter and the lighter going down on the rock melting, and then the sensations would come to my body, even though I'm not smoking this thing. But there's like what they call it was a mental recall or something like that. You know what I mean? Like my body is just like remembering it, but and that by me remembering that is like it was like telling me like how great this feeling would be right now if I could just take this. You know what I mean? But a certain thing that I was taught was play the tape through. In other words, what happens after that? I feel like crap. I'm back in the streets again, standing in front of a store, sticking out my hand for money, being disrespected, have my clothes thrown in the trash. You know what I mean? All these things. Play the tape through. Realize what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So when I'm up in that rehab now and that visual comes to me, I remember to say, okay, I'm going to listen to what these people tell me. They say, play the tape through. So but it's kind of hard to think about that when that obsession starts kicking in you. It's not as easy as like, oh, you know what? I'm urgent right now. Let me play that tape through. You know what I mean? Sometimes even when you try to play that tape through, it's like the tape keeps saying, no, keep looking at this. You know what I mean? Look at this and remember how great that would feel. You know what I mean? Trust me, a compulsive obsession, bro. A compulsive. And sometimes it would just feel so overwhelming that I just felt like, you know what? I'm out of here. But that's that trick right there. Because once you leave from inside there too, in that rehab, you can't just come back in. They tell you you got to wait like 6 months. So the devil, all he wanted me to do was just get my foot out of there. Because once I get out of there, I have nowhere to go. I'm back to the streets.
Back to the streets.
You know what I mean? So that was, again, the trick of the devil right there. That is just how it always worked. And I said, you know what? This time, I'm just going to stick it out all the way through, do everything they're going to be saying to me. And I'm just, when I get this job, I'm going to try to stay focused and get this apartment. But this was the same thing I told myself all the time. And I still could never end up getting there. You know what I mean? Because every time I get there, because that devil is still there. And he's still telling me, go sell some drugs. And because you're not going to live without them, be able to survive without a little extra money, because this job is not going to take you through. And most of the time, that's how it really was, bro. You know? But an extra drive kind of kicked in. I tell you no lie. One day I'm on the phone, because you get a little phone time, right? And I went on the Facebook and I wished my baby mother a happy birthday, and we ended up reconnecting back. And then one day out of nowhere, she calls for me, and then says, "Hey, do you want to talk to your kids?" I was like, "Of course." And she said they so badly want to see you. And my son, he's seen me a couple of times before and had like a few faint memories of me, but my daughter, she don't remember me. I had her like when she was like 2 years old maybe, but after that she went with her she was with her grandmother and I seen her here and there and stuff like that, but she didn't have no memory of me at all, you know. And she was desperate to see her dad, you know, and my son too. And I was yearning from them from day one, you know. And honestly, I always wanted to go back to see him or try to see him, but they're so grown up now. I mean, at the time, my son would have been 12 and my daughter would have been 10, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
but in my head, they've grown up so much without me in their life, and they probably got some twisted idea about me that they wouldn't want to see me, and if they did see me, it would be problems. So that kind of added on to me not seeing them, you know, kind of like helped encourage me to just give up on ever thinking about having my family in my life, you know. And but when that video call came through and my son, he says, "Wow, I feel like I got an early Christmas gift." You know what I mean? Just to see me, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And boy, I can't explain the feeling that I got over that. That I felt like, boy, it's something no drug could ever give you, brother. Trust me, that type of high is the real deal.
Love of your family.
Yo, that's the real deal right there. And you don't feel no crappy feeling afterwards. You understand? And it don't cost you nothing like that. I mean, I right now I do give my kids lots of money right now, so and that's a gift to me to be able to give them. That's a big gift to me.
How old are your kids now?
My son is 14 and my daughter is 12.
Nice. How does it feel to be reconnected in their lives?
I'm telling you, bro, it's one of the things that's kind of helps. It's one of the most helpful things that's been that in my journey. It's gave me a drive and a motivation to do what was necessary. You know, for me that it was the jump start, bro. That's what set it off right there in that moment. And then when I continued to see them, it felt like I felt God's love pouring out of them into me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I was so damn grateful to have this opportunity to be in my kid's life. And then when I got a little work going on, and I got to be like a proper father to me in my mind, I get to when every time I see them, I bring them money, or when their birthday comes, I can buy them an expensive gift or whatever and stuff like that. I got to be this is the person I wanted to be from day one. You know what I mean? And I finally got this opportunity, and I'm like, yo, I'm attached to this. But again, the job that I got at first, it was still just a tourism job,
Mm-hmm.
and slow season kicked in, and I'm feeling like, what am I gonna do now?
Dang.
You know what I mean? And it's like, well, don't go back to selling drugs or trying to use drugs, because that never helped. You know what I mean? I really had to look at it and say to myself, you don't want to go back there no more, right? So, and you done started with your kids. You know what I mean?
You clean.
Yeah. And they have a father they're proud of, that they look up to, that they love.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I love being this person in their life. I don't want to lose it. So again, it just kept my head strong and said to myself, you know what? Well, I'm just gonna go look another job then. You know? And the job I'm with now, you know what I mean, got it. They reached out to me, and I've been on it ever since. I've been working there for like a year and a half now. And 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 honestly, I think that the biggest help for me too, one of the biggest help for me is that in the NA program, they have this thing called the 12 steps, and you work it with a mentor, what they call a sponsor,
Mm-hmm.
and this helped keep me level-headed. Like when I started thinking crazy, I started having my own ideas, or started thinking about when the devil started getting in my head, then I had someone I could call. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who's been through what I've been through, and has found a way out, and suggested to work these steps. You know?
Yeah.
And bro, I ain't gonna tell you no lie. You see all that crap I was telling you I was feeling all the time, those urges and those overwhelming feelings and stuff like that. After working those steps, I could say that I don't look at drugs the same no more. It doesn't entertain it doesn't come to my head as anything sweet no more. In fact, I can't even remember how it would feel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, all I remember is the bad parts about it. And in fact, and when I see other people doing it or whatever going through, I feel sorry for them and things, bro. Even though they're probably not feeling bad or nothing, they're probably living an okay life. But I'm just saying, all I can see is the bad part of it, bro. You know, and I have no obsession over it. I don't have no interest in it. I see people use it in front of me all the time, and I don't feel no way about it. You know,
It's not for you.
yeah. I see one day after work, me and my coworkers are all chilling down, sitting down together, and they all chip in to get this these beers and stuff.
Mm.
And one of them's rolling up a spliff, and he offered it to me. I was like, nah, I'm good, bro. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm good, man. One of my coworkers, he knows he already knew my situation. There was few that just came in.
Right, new guys.
Yeah, they didn't really know the situation, and they're gone now. They were just there for part time.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But the other guys that was there, they're like, oh, so you want us to get you a juice or Brian? And I'm like, yeah, man. You know what I mean?
Like
they didn't
water or something.
Yeah, they didn't offer me no beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like if they even tried to, they know they're going to get a no.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, but they were right there drinking or whatever. I mean, if you asked me to go out to a club with you right now, I would say no. My cousin tried to do that one time with me, and I'm just like, no. He's like, bro, you don't have to drink. I say, I wouldn't. But I just don't want to go there because I have nothing to do there.
Right.
You know, it's just not my spot, bro. You know? And you know what? Honestly, I find more fulfillment sitting at home playing video games with my son on Fortnite or something. Me and him team up together and we conquer a whole map together. You know what I mean? This is what I find. This is where I belong to me.
That's nice.
I love that feeling. Then to be up in the club, surrounded by a bunch of drunk people, and I mean, some people when they drink, they're all right. You know what I mean? But then I know how the club scene looks. I've been there growing up all my life. I know there's usually violence or people are like, duh, 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 you know what I mean? So I don't find no interest in being there. You know what I mean?
One thing Nathan told me about is you are big in like organizing NA meetings. Could you tell us how you got involved in Narcotics Anonymous and how you got involved in like being an organizer?
All right. Well, when you're in the rehab, they have every week you get to go to an NA meeting or an AA meeting. I specifically connected with NA because my issue was drugs and all. AA is mainly alcohol, and my problem goes more beyond alcohol. You know, specifically hard drugs. You know. So I felt myself more at home there.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's suggested you get a sponsor, especially when you're going to reentry. But a lot of times in the beginning, I would get a sponsor just to get into reentry, just so I can start looking for work. That's all the sponsor was to me. I wasn't interested in working no steps or being of service or any of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I just wanted to get what I wanted to get and bye. You know?
Out of here.
Yeah. But I followed through this time. So because again, all right, there's a thing, you could be off these drugs and still be tormented by these drugs. You know what I mean? And still have the personality that's connected to drugs. You know what I mean? And that's why the 12-step helps kind of change all that around, you know? And NA, as a beginner, when you're coming in, you're hearing a bunch of stuff, a bunch of theories, and then you're taking it to be a bunch of bull crap. You're thinking it's just a bunch of hippie-jibby talk, you know? But it's all real if you take it serious, yeah? And so, I mean, one of the things they suggest is when you get the sponsor, you work the steps and you be of service, and you only keep what you have by giving it away. And that means practically only way I can keep these blessings that I got going on for me right now is if I continue to help others, you know? Just like I'm only able to be who I am today because of the help of them, right? Well, wouldn't that be selfish if I just get this help and try to just keep it to myself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying the only way I can keeping what I have is to give it away to others. So that's the whole reason of being of service then, you know? So
Does being of service give you a sense of purpose?
yes, definitely.
And how does purpose help you with your everyday life?
Especially as men, I could say that's one thing we need in life is the feel of purpose. You know, it gives you something to look forward to. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a future to look at, something like a plan. You know, and and having not having purpose, feels like almost feels like confusing, like as if what am I doing here then?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when you have a purpose, you feel like, okay, I know what I need to do, I know what I'm supposed to do, and I'm gonna keep doing it. You know, and and honestly, I mean, for me at this point, I feel like this is it's kind of my calling. It's not. It is. It's what's suggested to me. So I mean, I might not be able to explain to you in full 100 details of why it works,
Mm-hmm.
but I could tell you so far it's been working for me. 2.5 years, me, 2.5 years, bro. I couldn't even do 6 months. You know what I mean? Me as a person that was been stuck on this thing, that in and out of rehab like 30 times. You know what I mean? Couldn't get this thing right. But once I followed the suggestions, all of a sudden, no, I'm 2.5 years clean, bro, and I'm doing something with my life, and I've had nothing. I had nothing to start off with. I didn't even have a birth certificate, bro. You understand? Then I went to having having the birth certificate, having a passport, having a only a learner's license right now, having a bank account, having my job, having my own room. I bought a car recently. I'm not driving it yet because I'm just trying to get a license and insured. But again, this is the thinking I'm dep on now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And trying to be legit, you know, and but I'm getting somewhere in life, and I truly believe within myself through the acts of service in NA is like what is what God is calling me to do. You know what I mean? This is what I'm supposed to do. Other people, they're probably supposed to be in the church, be a pastor or be a singer or whatever. Or other people have their other thing, what they do to reach out to people in the world or whatever. Or just, it don't have to be something to reaching out to people in the world. But I believe that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's keeping me head above water. And it's not even just head above water, keeping me escalating, going up. I'm going up. It might be slow. I might be going up slow, but I'm going up. You know what I mean? I'm not going down. I'm not staying flat. I keep improving. You know, and I think the moment I stop following those suggestions, like I did every other time, I go back down then, and I don't want to go back down. So I'm gonna just keep following what's suggested to me, even if it's something I do not like. Or I feel like, what's the sense in it? What good is that gonna do me? What happened is these people understand something, and they were in my shoes just like how I was, and I went through the same thing, the same feelings, and thought the same way I did, but they had someone above them talk to them the way that they're talking to me. You know what I mean? And they know what's going on. I might not understand it, but they understand it. At one point, I'm going to be at that point where I can understand it the way that they do, and I can look at somebody else like that. And I'm already at that point to an extent, because there's been times where I looked at somebody who was in the rehab and they were trying to say that, oh, you know what, I'm going to leave because I got some money things I need to deal with, and plus my child and this and that, I need to take it. I said, bro, that's the devil tricking you to step your foot out because, again, I see myself in him.
Mm-hmm.
I know what he's going through because I've felt the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why, to me, NA is the best way of getting help because you're dealing with people who know what you're going through and understand. Because I could sit down here and explain everything about drugs to you, but if you've never used drugs, you're not gonna fully have that understanding of what's going on with that person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But a person who has been there fully understands what you're going through in that moment. They've been in your shoes and walked them same shoes. You know what I mean?
How important is sharing at these meetings, sharing your lowest point to some people that you may know, you're getting to know, or you don't know? Seems a bit nerve-wracking.
Well, all right. To me, I mean, when you're in the meeting and you share, try to share gently at first. You know what I mean? Like, explain your struggles. You know what I mean? Explain that, yo, I'm in this little part of my life right now, and it's, you know what, it's feeling really crappy. But you know what? I think drugs is a part to do with it. And I don't know how to deal with this situation, but I would really like some help. And if you get into that, if you really mean those words and you say it like that in those meetings, somebody's gonna come to you. They're gonna suggest you to get a sponsor, and they're gonna suggest you work the steps with that sponsor. And after that, it's up to you to continue to do that.
And these are the 12 steps. The 12 steps you're talking about.
Yeah.
Could you explain the different steps to us?
I don't know if I'm really supposed to talk about it like that still.
Fair.
Yeah.
I remember one time back in my news days, I had called the head of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to say anything about like drunk driving?" He's like, "Listen, man, I'm not here to advocate for anything, but if you need help, like, you know where to find me." Like,
Yeah,
like
bro.
that's it, you know. I'm not here to say this is bad for you. I'm not here to say it's good for you. But if you're struggling, just find me, and that's that.
Yeah, that's what it's meant for, bro. They're there to help you with your problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what it's there for. If you want the help.
Are you a sponsor? And can you speak about that, being a sponsor?
Well,
Because it's a bit personal.
I'm available for sponsorship. Yeah, I can sponsor someone because I've officially worked the 12 steps.
Yeah.
So I'm over a year clean. I think that's the main two requirements of being able to be a sponsor.
How long have you been clean now?
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
Man, it's so cool, right? I didn't see you for a couple years, because anytime I'd see you would be in West Bay in the parking lots or wherever. But then, I think it was Nathan actually, who was like, "Yo, you know Brian, like he's clean now." I was like, "What?" Who would have thought? You know, and I say this, and it sucks to say, but like I was one of those people like, look, there's Brian, you know, like, or Dizzy or whatever, a triangle head or whatever stupid name, you know. But it was never like, oh, that's my boy. It was like, haha, there's that crackhead, you know. But like to hear like those stories from you, but to know that you've changed your life around, like it puts people who used your downfall for their entertainment, like I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for ever doubting you, you know. And I think it's beautiful that you can sit here and say, "Hey, I changed my life," and you can too.
Well, bro, I tell you, like I doubted me too. I didn't really think it was possible.
When did you know it was possible?
When I was relieved of the obsession for drugs. I was no longer chained to this thought or no longer have this compulsive desire for it. I'm like, what? I'm free now. I can decide to say to myself to go pick that up or not. It doesn't feel like a forced choice or a body reaction.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If I go pick up drugs now, it's because I did that and that's my mess up and that's my fault. I can look at myself and say, you idiot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have now been freed of those chains. And for me to turn around and put those chains back on, no. That means I deserve that then. I deserve to go falling right back into all that crap again. Because you know what? I have been freed right now. You know what I mean? I'm no longer chained to this thing. And from that moment is when I felt to myself, wow, I can continue to live the rest of my life like this here. I can just do this now. You know what I mean? All I gotta do is just keep it up while I'm doing. You know what I mean? Continue to give back. Because that's only fair too, because you know what? I gotta be thankful that there was people who had these rooms that made it available for me to come to, kept them doors open, because everybody could have said to themselves, you know what? I'm freed. Good luck, guys. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they said, no, you know what? We gotta keep this available for other people to get free too. And I think that's a beautiful something. And I think that is how they remain sober, you know? And I think that's what I got to do to remain sober too, is to continue. Because, and you know what? And I think I can really do it because I know for me, like I was just telling you, I doubted myself here. I didn't think it was possible. And that's why I also, to test everything, is I said to them, watch, I'm going to do everything you guys suggest, and I bet you it still fail. This is how much I doubted that this life was possible for me. How much I doubted. I said, no, there ain't nothing in this world that can save me. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. But it still worked out. And you know what? I want to be able to reach out to people who were like me, who doubted that it was possible, who really thought that they could not, that there is no way out, that you're just doomed. Because that was my problem from day one, is I just felt like I was doomed. No matter what it is I could do everything right, but it won't matter. I'm still just doomed. You know what I mean? And I wanna be able to show people that I felt that way before too. And this was where I was at. You know what I mean? At the pit. And this is where I'm at now. And this is how I got there. And I believe with the help of me and these people of NA, you can do it too. You know? And if you really want it, it can happen for you. But you have to really want it. And when I say that, it's because we all need it. We all, everybody who's on drugs needs help. But if you don't want the help, it doesn't matter how much you need it. And when you want it, you could try your best to do it, because it's going to be a lot of work, bro, especially if you were at my position. Because again, I started with zero and I had nothing else to help me besides NA. I had no job I could fall back on easily. You know what I mean? Or nothing. I had nothing to fall back on, you know, or nothing to assist me help up. I had to go fight it out there. And go and keep trying. And even when things looked like they wasn't going to work out again, like what I tell you with the slow season, with the tourism job. Back in the old times of me, I would have said, you see? Look at that. Doomed. Doesn't make no sense in trying. No matter how hard I try, everything just seems to go downhill. You know? And then I'm just using it again. But this time I told myself, I can't just give up. I can't. You know? Especially now I got my kids in my life and stuff like that. Things are just looking so nice, and I want it bad, bro. I want it bad. This is the life I've been wanting, a normal life. It can't be just thrown away like that. I said, no, I'm not going to allow that. I'm going to go search for another job. You know what I mean? And what suffering I had to go through to try to find that another job, I'm going to do it again. I wasn't going to give up, you know? And that's the mindset you got to have. You got to have that. Because, I mean, getting off drugs is a serious something, brother. It's a serious something. It's a serious battle. It's not just a financial or a physical battle. It's a spiritual battle, you know? And it's a mental battle too, and an emotional battle too. It's everything, bro. There's just sometimes, like me myself, I used to think it was just, it's all about a financial situation, or these people, they don't understand. It's just because I ain't got the money. But if you don't deal with yourself spiritually, you can get that same money, and I bet you blow it all on drugs. Bet you. You know what I mean? There's something inside that needs to be fixed, and that's what the 12 steps help with. You know? Hey, help rearrange you inside and out. It will change you and transform you. Definitely. Because I can tell you this much. The obsession and my personality and my way of thinking all came from the help of after them steps. After I worked those steps and with working them with a sponsor and continually working with my sponsor and continually still working those steps, I'm doing another cycle on it. I'm doing it again because I want to try to master this thing. You know what I mean? And
you want to be the best person you can be.
Yeah, bro. And to me, the gifts that I got from working this program, I want to continue to have. I don't want to lose them. So I'm going to do, even when it feels like, man, I don't feel like doing this right now, I just do it. You know what I mean? Discipline myself. It's just like, if you're a person that goes to work all the time, I mean, especially like if it's a hard job or an annoying job, you don't feel like going to work, but you say to yourself, boy, I'm going to go. You know what I mean? Because you got to. It's the same way you got to look at this program. You know what I mean? It's, to me, if I don't do what I need to do, I'm going to go back to the place I don't want to. Or I'm going to lose all these gifts that I have right now. Mm-hmm. That's how I'm looking at it right now, at least. And that's why I continue to do it. Somebody told me one day, say, you know, you don't need those meetings no more. Yeah? You're good now. All you need to do is just continue doing what you're doing. And saying one of the things I'm doing is going to these meetings. You know what I mean? And they're like, no, but all you need is God. I'm not going to doubt that. That is true. All you really need is God. But you know what? This has been working for me, and I need to give this to other people too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Give back.
Yeah, and and honestly, to me, these rooms is one of the places where you can find God. To me, it'll help you. Like sometimes it's hard for people to do it in church. Maybe it's the stigma they feel, or maybe it's the people in the church. You know what I mean? But there's good churches, and I go to a church every Saturday. I mean, it's the church my children go to still, but I'm getting more deeper into the church too. You know, but and they helped with the foundation. It set the foundation for me, and after that, I put other things on top and it helped build it. You know, I mean, they were just without them, bro. I wouldn't have had the relationship I have with God today. You know,
Can you talk about your relationship with God right now?
I depend on Him fully. Depend on Him fully. I trust in Him a whole lot more. Like I've seen so many things happen in this journey of me with Him right now that I doubt Him. I don't doubt Him as much as I used to, you know, or I don't worry as much as I used to. I still worry. I still have fears, but they're less as powerful now. And I for some reason I always just feel like things are just gonna work out. I always just feel that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, I pray every morning, every night. Pray when I'm feeling away, and I pray when I'm feeling good. You know what I mean? If I'm feeling bad, I reach out to God. If I'm feeling good, I give thanks to God. Pray over my food. Go to church every Saturday, and I mean, I'm gonna be honest. The what helped me start going to church was my kids, because that's the place where I get to visit them.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Do you still have some, I guess, visitation?
Yeah. But you know what? That's okay. It's okay.
How is your relationship with your baby mother these days?
It's actually quite good. We're for her to want to try to reach to bring my kids to me says a lot right there alone. I didn't do nothing out of the norm for her to, you know what I mean, to want to do that, you know. But I think in the end, what's helping a lot is the fact that the kids really just want to meet their dad and know their dad. But then all of a sudden they meet their dad and they know their dad and they love him.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see more of him, and it seems to be impacting them well. You know what I mean? It's having a good impact on them. And
do you think now being in your kid's life, clean and sober, it changes the, I guess, okay, when they were younger, do you think that people like came up to your kids and like, hey, you know, your dad's on crack, and
it's so funny you say that. It's so
but
funny.
But now being sober, you can be like, listen, I was, but look at me now. I'm healthy. We're doing these great things. I can provide for you.
They've never told me that anything like that happened to them, but this is one of the, what you just said a while ago was one of the things that broke my heart to pieces, because I know that used to happen to me a couple of times in school. Some people would say, "Oh, I don't even want to get to too much details of it, but
right,
you know what I mean, try to diss me about my mother and her addiction and what she does to enter her addiction." You know what I mean? And I didn't like that until I imagine now my kids having to go through something similar, to say that, oh, your dad, he's in front of those stores begging money to get crack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how much shame they could feel for that, to say that that's their dad and that's where they come from.
Yeah.
You know? And to be being picked on about it. You know, that, yo, I tell you no lie, when I was sharing that to to my mentor,
yeah,
I broke down in tears, bro. You know? Because it was a pain that I was seriously feeling. You know? But thank God I don't have to worry about that no more.
No, it seems like since your mother dealt with the drug addiction, you dealt with drug addiction, but it seems like you broke that. I guess they talk about generational curses.
Yeah.
It seems like what happened, the I guess coping mechanisms from your mother to you now will not be passed from you to your children.
Yeah.
Because of, you know, the work you've done with 12 steps.
Yeah.
And your relationship with, and your newfound relationship with the Almighty.
Yeah. Broke the generational chain, of course. Yeah.
How are your two other brothers, Sing Gambit and your youngest brother?
They're doing great, man. My brother Gambit and me, we especially we communicate a lot. Every single day I talk with him, and from the day I I was in the rehab and I talked to him, man. He was really happy, but he's even more happier now to continue to see where I'm continuing to go, you know?
Nice.
I actually, right before this happened, I was telling him about it, and he was like, yeah, man, make sure you go do that, bro. Make sure you go do it. I honestly, like, just, you know what I mean? If you heard, like, how I was over the phone, I was like, yeah, how long is this going to take or whatever, you know? But
because in the beginning, just outside, you seem like really reserved, and I was thinking like, man, I'm gonna have to like pry, get you. But once it started, you're just like, nah, this is me.
yeah. But again, I know these are things I'm really supposed to be doing still.
Yeah.
You know?
How's your relationship with your mother?
It's great. It's really awesome because my mother now sees me as an inspiration for herself.
That's beautiful.
She recently I don't know if I hope she anyways, she just recently came from a rehab, you know, and she seeked it for the same reason because she wanted what I had, you know. And again, I tried to help her through it while she was up in there. Some things happened. I don't understand how the rehabs work down there or whatever, but she said some things and it didn't sound right still, but she's out of the rehab now. She's supposed to be doing good, but if she doesn't, again, I told her, this is the things that you need to do, you know?
Yeah.
You might not believe me. It may sound like a bunch of crock of crap because that's how it sounded to me, too. That's how it sounded to me in the beginning, too. Like, you really think that me just going to this room and sharing this stuff and being with these people is gonna help? How does that help?
Mm-hmm.
This is how it sounds to you in your head, yeah. But, bro, just look at how it's helping them. Why is it helping other people? Especially, why is it helping someone like me, brother? You know what I mean? To me, at least to myself, I'm a living example of someone that's not supposed to be helpable. The position I was in, life position and drug addiction position, all two of them sites, it was just hell. You know what I mean? And for me, bro, if I can do it, you can do it, bro. If I can, it was hard. It was hard as hell for me to do it. I just had to get out of my own stinking thinking and just been willing to take some guidance, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, God, of course, God be the glory above all things because you know what? It's Him that sets the path. And when He sets the path, all you have to do is take that path. And more of the time, like I say this for a drug addict trying to get into recovery, most of the time, that path is the path you don't want to take. Or that's what your head is telling you. Like the place that you don't want to go is the place you're supposed to go. That's the path that God's trying to show you to take. The one that you're rejecting the most, the one that you don't want to go through, or the thing that doesn't seem to make sense to you is just not adding up, you know? Because we all have our own ideas and our own plans, but those are the things we need to get rid of because obviously they wasn't working for us. If they was working for us, we wouldn't be up in the rehab or we wouldn't be on the streets trying to find a way out, you know? So look for advice somewhere else, man. Go outside yourself. You know what I mean? Seek a power greater than yourself. Because you obviously are a power that's not doing nothing, bro. You know?
One thing I learned about life, I've had people who I care about, and I've seen them do drugs, and it gives me concern. And I would ask a friend of mine who became sober, and I'd be like, "Yo, like, what do I do? Like, my man's doing coke, and he's just, it's eating his soul. Like, it's not good." And my friend told me straight up, "It's like, listen, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, you can suggest it all you want, but it's up for that person to want to make that change."
In the end, it always falls back on the person. But it's a good thing you're doing to keep suggesting, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just keep reminding that person to say, hey, there's still these rooms. And even be helpful if you can be. Like, to say, like, if you need a ride to go to the rooms, I'll bring you there or something, you know?
What rooms are you referring to?
The NA rooms.
All right.
Yeah. I know there's a one Pacific meeting I go to every Thursday in Yelverton Square. 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. It's if you could see me there, you know.
That's the place.
Yeah, I'll be there chairing the meeting, and I'll be there to help. You know.
How's chairing the meetings for you?
It's all right. Again, sometimes you do things you don't really want to be doing, but it's beneficial for you. I'd rather be the person just sitting down and then being a part of the meeting, but the person that's chairing the meeting, you're going through, you got to open the doors on time and have the place set up, all the coffee and the chairs and the tables, and then you got to go through the whole platform situation with readings and stuff like that. And you're the one that leaves last because you got to clear the room back up together, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But in the end, it feels good because you know what? I feel like I get blessings for that, and I feel again, I'm taking it a step further, you know, instead of just being a person that just shows up to a meeting. Because some people will just show up and they just be quiet, they don't share, they don't do nothing.
Do you think with you leading the meeting and sharing, you're leading by example?
Thank you.
You know, to give that person who is shy in the back like some confidence. Like,
Yeah.
yo, if this guy can do it.
Yeah, and even worse, I was that person shy and quiet in the back before too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I was a person that also trash talked the meeting before too. So the trash talker, I can talk to him too. See the thing about these rooms is we can all relate to each other. And there's somebody at least up in there, somebody that's you're gonna relate to, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And but basically we most things we all relate to each other because we all have the same problem. We're all seeking the same solution. The problem is drugs, and and we're looking to get off of it, you know. So right there alone, we all relate to each other in that same issue. We had a problem, and it was because of this stupid thing here, and we all want a better life, and we were looking for the solution, and the solution is here, you know. So you fit in automatically.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a drug addict or an ex-drug addict, you fit in these rooms.
Yeah, because drug addiction, it doesn't see any color. It doesn't
No.
see gender,
No.
race, social status.
No,
nothing.
boy, it doesn't care who you is, boy. It don't care who you are. It will tear you apart, brother. It'll love to. You give it a chance, it will tear you apart. It will bring you to the lowest you ever seen your life be, bro.
Yeah. So with that being said, where do you see yourself going forward?
Well, I would love to take it a step further. I know there's other things that can be done, but I would like to try to see if in the future I could try to work in the rehab, even if I'm not a counselor, just to be a little staff. Because there was staff that worked there that were ex-drug addicts that have long-term clean time. And again, all right, there's just something about it that it even says in the rooms, like one addict speaking to another is without parallel, which is meaning saying that when an addict who has been in recovery and worked things out talks to the addict who is suffering and doesn't know what to do, there's just something about that this works way better than a therapist or a counselor. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that therapists and counselors don't work or that they ain't of no help, because they were of help with me. But every time that I spoke to somebody who was once in my shoes and now they're living like this, and I'm saying to myself, but how come I can't have that? Or I want to live like that. This guy is living great, brother. He's living awesome. And he was living just like me a couple of years back. You know what I mean? 10 years ago, this man was down there looking like he halfway dead. And now he's looking like he's like Gucci Mane or something. You know what I mean? And he got his wife and kids, and he's got this big ride and all this stuff. And I'm like saying to myself, but how did he achieve that, brother? How do you do that from being this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when I talk with them, I don't feel like as if they don't understand. And they're not going to say something that makes me feel like they don't understand. Because some people will look at you and be like, why don't you just quit? Why don't you just stop? Why don't you just say no? It's not that simple. You know what I mean? Or I'm feeling like this. Why are you feeling like that? An addict who's in recovery can look at you and say, I understand how you feel. And this is the best way I see that you can try to handle the situation. Versus a counselor that says, well, could say the same thing. Well, you should try doing this. You're going to look at that counselor like, they just don't understand. And it's probably true. They don't understand. But they're giving you proper suggestion, proper advice. But it's hard for you to hear it coming from someone who's just never been through your struggle. But when there's somebody who's been through your struggle and they showing you something and you're looking at them and saying to yourself, boy, look at him right now. And he's telling me something that worked for him. You know what I mean? And he's coming from where I'm coming from. I should really try doing what this man says, though. You know?
So you want to continue leading by example.
Yeah,
Nice.
definitely.
That's beautiful. How are you with music these days? Because you were known as one of the best spitters K-Man ever produced.
Yeah.
You
Well-
put your microphone days behind you, or
Well, let's just say that I'm focused more on things that are being more productive in my life right now. You know, that's all. It's not that 'cause I still do a little bit of it, but to chase it as a career right now, or to try to, I honestly just back in my days, I put all my life into that, bro. All my time and my energy went into that, bro. And I can't be doing that if I want to live the life that I'm living right now. I just gotta move different, bro. I just gotta move different, and that way of moving wasn't helpful, you know. Sure, I got famous, and a lot of people started knowing me, and I even started making money by just standing in front of the road. But that's not how I want to live. I want to know this is my income. Once I go out there, I'm gonna make it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I don't need to beg nobody for this. You know what I mean? I don't have to wait and hope somebody shows up. All I need to do is show up. And once I show up, I just gotta put in the work, and I can make something of myself. You know, I prefer that, bro. You know, and there's no definites of what's gonna happen with the whole rap thing. I'm not saying it's not possible, but at the same time, I'd rather know the work of something that I know for sure is working for me. And this lifestyle I'm living right now is working for me. It's so far, it's giving me something I never thought could happen for me, and it's giving me more than I thought it could, you know. And from what I see, or what from my sponsor tells me all the time, it's like there's more to come, you know. There's more to come. You just gotta keep going, and don't give up, and continue to go to meetings, continue to be of service, and God has plenty more in store for you, more than you can ever fathom or dream of, beyond your wildest dreams. And I believe him, because again, when this man has told me where he's come from, and I know it's true because the way he says it, I can tell that he was a drug addict junkie to the max. To the max. I can tell. You know? From what he says. And to see he's living like this and being the way he's being in my life, yo, this man, yo, brother, I say to myself, I want to be like this guy. I want to be like this guy. He's living good, living happy, and he's reaching out to people like me and helping me get out of the hell. You know what I mean? And to be able to achieve something that he has, you know? Yeah, he's a wonderful person, bro. He's a wonderful person. I want someone to be able to look at me in that same way and say that, you know what? This guy right here helped me, you know? And even if it ain't even about that, just knowing that I did help someone out of that, because, bro, God knows how grateful I am that I'm out of it, yo. And I don't have to ever worry about turning back unless I'd be so stupid to do that myself. It's done. It's a decision now at this point, you know? So, but I don't have to no more. I don't have to use drugs no more. I had to. It felt like I had to then. I don't have to now.
because of all the pain that you were running away from.
Yeah. You know?
But now that you've confronted this pain, made peace with this pain,
Yeah.
it is no longer pain.
I'm sorted out now. I'm spiritually good now. You know what I mean? I've got a foundation. I've built up on it. It's getting stronger and stronger, and I'm getting stronger. My relationship with God is getting closer and closer. Everything is just improving. You know?
Yeah, there's no chemical solution to a spiritual problem.
No. I like that one. Yeah, man.
On the note of that, Brian, I'm out of questions for this time, but would you like to give some advice to the people out there listening? Some advice to the world?
Well, there's so much different things you could be saying. I mean, but the people who are out there who have someone who is struggling with, or if they see someone struggling, the only time you should look down at anybody is if you're trying to help them up. Just try to help people up, bro, because you don't judge nobody. Because I was that person, and look at me now, you know, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people judged, even I judged myself, to say that I could never be this person. You know what I mean? So don't lose faith in your loved ones. Don't lose faith and keep trying to help them. You know what I mean? Continue to be there for me. I ain't be there for them because there are people who was continuing to be there for me. My grandmother was a strong support from the get-go. Always never gave up on me, never turned face with me. And every time I tried to go to the rehab, she was there with me. I mean, just trying to support me, you know? And if you really care about people, just keep working with them and keep encouraging them, and, you know, that's all I gotta say.
Brian, thank you so much for taking the time and being with us here today and sharing your story.
Yeah, man, no problem, man.